Hello, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you are a sun, moon, or rising Sagittarius. And I want to let you know that no, I am not an astrologer, so I know that that confuses people sometimes. This is a tarot reading for a Sagittarius, but not an astrologer. So let's go ahead and dig into this. Don't forget, if you are interested in the love and relationship readings, I do those. They're big readings just like this, and they're sign specific. You can find those on Patreon. The January readings are going to be geared towards intention setting and building. So whether you are wanting a partner or already in partnership, I'm tailoring it for both and what you're doing to support the relationships in the coming year. So I will put the link right there, and let's see what's coming up for you in January. First thing, fear that the light will bring judgment. So this is fear of being seen. If you have something that maybe you're worried about or self-conscious about or stressed about, this is a time when things are probably going to be coming to light, but it might be challenging in the sense that it's going to inspire that anxiety. So I would say, having a light shine on whatever it is that's in the dark usually is a positive thing, because then it's like ripping the Band-Aid off. It's like ultimate liberation. So it's something that you're just going to have to go with the flow a little bit, and be honest with yourself along the way, whatever this is. It might not even be that something's being exposed. It might just be a feeling or wanting to shield something. And then the word for you is compost. Break it down into its elements. Let whatever isn't working become the soil for your next endeavor. Send it to the earth. Let it return to you with new vitality. Whichever one is sticking out to you is the one that you're meant to hear. And then the animal card is elk. I see January as being one of those things, or one of those months where you have a focus, but it's also not going to be super fast paced this month. It's going to be more about construction, which you might find is a similar theme. If you watch other videos this month, you might find that there's some overlap there, because January is a foundation month. You have the Sun in Capricorn for the majority of the month, and so it really is about building, and that's what elk is reflecting to you. So central energy, Queen of Feathers, doing things your own way is going to be important. Now, I think that you might be inclined to start innovating, because this is air is in the center of your reading. And so because of that, it seems like you really need to push yourself to think outside the box, do things differently, challenge the status quo, and see what happens as a result. I think the payoff is going to be pretty substantial. So the Queen of Feathers is just reminding you that doing things your own way has significant benefit. And then the crossing energy is the King of Feathers. Okay. So that independence, I know if you are getting a lot of feedback from other people, take it with a grain of salt this month. I think that your mind, your clarity, your spirit, your decision making is probably going to have a certain edge that other people won't be able to really provide you. So just don't be afraid of going your own way. It doesn't mean you have to be totally contrarian. This is just about knowing that if you want to do something, it's a wise decision to really take that into consideration and try to shut out as much noise as possible from, other people. So let's see what's shifting out for you in January. We have the Hanged Man. This is complacency. So The Hanged Man is about habits and routines, and it's funny because the Queen and King of Feathers are about breaking that mold, charging ahead into a new direction, a new way of experiencing your habits, routines, all of that good stuff. So this, to me, looks like the Hanged Man is all of those things that you were doing. Maybe this was an incubation chamber, because we have a reference to a cocoon and kind of being dormant for some time. When you're in a cocoon period and integration or incubation period, it's a time when there's not a whole lot of movement. And I think January just kind of starts with a bang because you're burning that down. The entire model of your previous life habits and experience are going to be challenged. And the best way for you to grow is challenge yourself, do challenging things, do hard things, learn new things. That is going to be the best case scenario. I honestly, if you want to do a bunch of things that other people are, maybe not on board with, or don't believe in you quite the way you believe in yourself, trust that even the failures have value. It doesn't mean, see what happens when you ram your car into a brick wall. Like, obviously don't do reckless things. This is about seeing how things unfold, making the attempt even if you can't see how it's going to pan out. And the oncoming energy is the Tower. Again, don't worry about the failures. Some things are going to stick and some things are going to burn down. It's like not everything is going to be effective. You're going to have to fine tune along the way. And that's what the Tower is reflecting here. I'm going to clarify this one. I know a lot of people get nervous about the Tower. And you have the Moon. You're figuring it out. So see how there's the reference to a compass and like not knowing, because there's a bunch of question marks there. This is honestly just showing you that things can not be certain. Certain things cannot work out. Certain things can be unknown and it still work out okay. So you kind of have to see this through. And it's one of those things, I know that people forget that if you don't take action, even if it seems like something that won't work, it's kind of like, but what if it does? That's the whole problem. And that's why you have to kind of be okay with failure, is that you can't have success without failure. And so be okay with certain things not working. The outward manifestation is the Nine of Shells. I think you're dreaming really big, not hard for Sagittarians to do. And you have the opportunity to ask for a lot more this month, and I recommend that you do that. Dream big, ask for more, ask for what you need, look at all of the different facets of what you have going on, and I think a lot more is gaining momentum than you might realize. This is going to be a great experimentation month. In the subconscious, you have the Three of Feathers, letting things go. So you're in this place where you're jumping off into uncharted territory and making evaluations on what needs to be tweaked and adjusted and let go of. This is a big, big, big month. I would say so far, I'm almost done with the readings. This is probably the most impactful January reading I've seen so far. It's about making the attempt, having some failures, having some successes, asking for more, and all of that rolled together is exponential growth. The Three of Feathers this isn't something that should be worried about because it's in the subconscious. So this is your decision, you actively shedding old skin, old beliefs, old ways of thinking. It's all an internal process, not an external one. So hello to Maynard. He's joining us today. So now we have the advice for you. Judgment. When you commit to something, commit to it. I know that And sometimes Sagittarians can get super bored, like just wanting new. I'm going to encourage you to maybe stick with things. If you get immediate input that something isn't working, it's okay to let that go. But if you are really committed to something, if you want to see a goal through, you have to stick it out. You have to commit to yourself. That's a big theme that's coming up for a lot of signs right now is, are you committing to yourself? Are you making a decision that you're going to put in the work, that you're going to put in the effort? And I think this is because there's so much collective energy around resolutions, starting the year off right, having those intentions. If you have a game plan, if you're willing to challenge the way you used to do things, you cannot lose. So I'm just encouraging you, if you have an idea for what you want to bring into the new year, commit to that. The external influences, we have the Two of Feathers. So not knowing, it's going to be a mixed bag for you because there's so much about this that your actions are going to determine what you experience externally. This will be a month if you do nothing in January, if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't start anything new, if you are just sitting on your hands, then don't expect anything different in January. If you want radical change and you're taking radical action, then it's like the floodgates are going to open. So that's where your experience isn't totally defined yet because it's totally dependent on what you do with the Queen and King of Feathers sitting in the center. This is begging you to innovate. Hopes and fears, the devil. So the vices and old behaviors coming back are the biggest challenge. Honestly, this card in particular is that energy of things being a lot scarier when you think about them than they are in reality. It's probably a lot worse than it actually is when you're thinking about it, or if you have reservations around certain things. Remember that the devil is like the illusion or the shadow side of things. And it's like, yes, the shadow will always exist, but it's time to challenge that if you want to level up. The outcome for January is the Chariot. With effort, with work, you will succeed in some way, shape, or form. And it's all about the innovation piece, the challenging yourself. I'm going to clarify the Chariot because the Chariot is also not a smooth ride. That's the other thing that people forget. The Chariot is actually all over the place. It can feel really sporadic and inconsistent. So we have Two of Pentacles. The Chariot and the Two of Pentacles, just reminding you, take it one decision at a time. It's very easy to get caught up in thinking about, well, then this, and this are going to happen as a result. What you want to do is just put one foot in front of the other, one decision after the other. Know that your decisions are going to make up a whole, and that's what you are really realizing in January. Okay, so let's get into the timeline. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. And we have first, second, third, and fourth quarter of January. So this will be where you start off the month. They're about a week, give or take. Time is pretty fluid, so that's why I break it down into quarters instead. First quarter, 9 of Rods. So I think that you starting January off is going to be like full steam ahead, go, 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 go. Hustle, 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 hustle. That's what this card is showing. And so you start off with a bang. You start off with all this energy. Let's see what comes up in the second quarter. The Magician. Seeing your manifestations roll in, it's going to start making some progress, whether or not they're actually making an appearance through your efforts, or if you just have more energy to manifest in mid-January. Either one will work for you. There's no bad time to manifest. Just to be clear, that's something that I recommend that people make that an ongoing process, because you get better results if you're constantly manifesting than if you're passively just going with the flow. It seems like asking and placing your order is a better course of action. Take that into consideration. Third quarter, we have strength, seeing things through, and I actually think that if you have decided, this is the year that you're really going to commit to yourself or something that you want to see happen, man, oh man, does that boost your confidence. It just, being able to set a goal and achieve it, or have an intention and stick to it, or make a promise to yourself and actualize that, it's a really healing experience for you. So I would strongly advise, like the Judgment card, that you commit to it, because then you're going to have that big internal fire where you're just seeing that you can make things happen, you can manifest, you can call things in, you can make changes in your life. So that energy is something that can really push you to achieve great things this month and for the rest of the year. And wrapping up 2019, or January 2019, we have the Daughter of Swords. You will be in this state of innovation and fine-tuning throughout the entire month. It doesn't stop at the beginning. It's the umbrella energy that you have this month. Great time. I would recommend reviewing month by month. It would probably be a good idea for you to do a check-in of some sort and see how far away are you from whatever you want to make happen. Is there anything you need to adjust? Is there anything you need to tweak? Is there anything you need to innovate further? That's what the Daughter of Swords is reminding you to do. Check in with this energy that you started off with, all the changes that you're making, all the commitments that you've made. See how it's playing at the end of the month. Okay, now we're doing a 3-card pick. You guys know the drill. You can pick as few or as many cards as you'd like. It totally is up to you what you do with this. So just set your intention, whether it be guidance or something more specific. And card number 1, we have the 6 of Pentacles, Reciprocity. Focus on giving and receiving. What does that look like given the current circumstances or situation that you have coming up? How can you experience more of the give and take in a way that works for you? Are your investments paying off? This is going to be a great time to take stock of it, unless it's something that's a long-term project. That would be, if you know you have a long-term project, just know that you're not going to see the benefits right away necessarily. So that's just something worth keeping in mind. And then the second card, we have King of Swords again. Break it down, you guys. That's also what came up in the compost card. Break it down into its elements. And the King of Swords is really great at doing that. I recommend that you break it down, take inventory, see what you need to adjust, innovate where you can, find some common ground for yourself. And this is not, I'm not reading that you're doing this, but beware of biting off more than you can chew. Be realistic. I mean, be honest about what you can accomplish. It's okay that it's like you want to hit the sweet spot where you're really, really pushing yourself and where you're getting uncomfortable, right? So somewhere in between there is perfect. As long as you are challenging the old way of doing things, you're going to be in a good position. Then the third card we have is Two of Swords. You are not going to know what the outcome will be until you see things through. So if the Six of Pentacles was the one that resonated more, then it's kind of like take inventory of what you're getting out of certain situations. If the Two of Swords is what's calling to you more, then you want to wait and see things through. Okay, so just be patient with this. The Two of Swords is kind of like a wait and see. There's more information that you don't have right now, and that's okay. It's the same thing here that's in the external environment for you this month. So just wait. I think keep doing what you need to do, and things are going to unfold in their own time. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and checking in on your January. Don't forget, I offer tarot spreads and one-on-one energetic sessions, so you're welcome to check everything out in the description box. If you want the love and relationship readings, that will be available in the description box as well, and I'll put the link right there in the corner. And don't forget, say hello in the comment section. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, all of that good stuff. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.